Hello guys, and welcome to another video from Ignay. Pushed out 3 this week, so we're on a roll. Running out of ideas though, so I would love to have some ideas down in the comments below or in our Discord. Speaking of our Discord, it is there and is open. I will leave a link down in the description below. This is used as a community tool, so absolutely no bullying, no being mean to each other, or anything like that, or else you'd be kicked and banned. Otherwise, feel free to talk, feel free to have fun. That's what the room is there for. Furthermore, as I've already said in previous videos and in the Discord, as we progress up in subscribers and followers, there is a chance that YouTube will eventually monetize my videos. When they do that, the first 3 months, I will be giving away to whoever is subscribed and in my Discord in a bi-weekly raffle. After the 3 months, I will give 25% of it in a monthly raffle. So invite your friends, subscribe if you're not already, join the Discord, and let's see if we can get there. Now that all the formalities are out of the way, it was asked for me to discuss what I would prioritize as far as evolutions. So that is what we're going to get into today. So I touched a little bit on this in a previous video for building a farm, but a lot of the same things sort of apply to if you're building a main account with a few minor adjustments. Now, if you're free to play, there'll be some differences, like rapid production is actually useful for early on free to play, so that might be something that you want to kind of squeeze in there along the way. But the one things that you want to start on almost immediately is your anthill development, which you want to do and max out as fast as you possibly can, and your basic combat. Reason being for this is this allows you to increase your production of what's in your hills, plus increases your construction speed, which early on is very important. Increases your resource cap for each of your depots, which will help you tremendously along the way as you progress to build your queen to 25 and beyond. After that, the basic combat. The reason why I say this one allows you to not only mutate things into a higher tier, but it also gives you a little bit of extra tech, etc., which will help you when it comes to like doing PvE, especially early on. And it's a permanent boost that you have forever. Now, the next thing you want to get into is you want to kind of work on getting, for a main account, not so much a farm account, but you want to kind of work on trying to get to at least secondary leadership on each of your marches early on, as well as working on soldier healing at the same time. Now, this is all assuming that you are not yet gone into a war zone event, so you don't have things like zone development open or zone fight. And the reason why you want to do that is because getting to secondary leadership will allow you on, when it does start, it'll allow you to be able to, on gathering days and such, be able to get onto a tile and be able to take the entire tile without having to pull back early, anything like that. It lets you be able to actually pre-gather, which will help you in the early stages, especially with the warm-up war zone and such, to be able to get more points. On top of that, it's also a start to where you can start to kind of fight. Obviously, you want to max those out to tertiary leadership when you actually get to fight. But then there's also the great thing like the best rest, which allows you to recover your stamina more, which early on you can hunt more bugs, do more fighting, whatever. Now, soldier healing, the reason why you want to max this out is because when you actually do get into the war zone event, zone development opens, which is what you're really going to want to focus on then. And the zone development, you want to go all the way down to the double rewards, which allows you to get double the rewards from each of these shells. Now, at the same time, you also want to kind of figure out what you're maining as and start working on that in this. at the same time, like I said, you want to use all your creature remains on zone development, but on the sidelines, start working on whatever you're maining as, and also getting these up to tertiary. You can also start working into the basic military, which will give you like fatal attack, which will give you more dead, more more kills, more stats for you. It's not really a necessity, but it does reduce the hatch speed on hatching soldier ants and such like that. Things to avoid completely: secondary combat. You don't need that for a very long time. Honestly, you never really do need it. It's kind of a waste of creature remains to begin with. And early on, insect is a waste of, I think it costs fodder or something like that in some of the researches to be able to do some of the researches, and you don't want to do that. Your main focus is to make sure that you can get through zone development, get your marches built up, etc., etc. Now, after you've done that, and basically, have the top 3 here maxed out, got at least your pro march and march 1 maxed out, so you can be able to do some fighting, soldier healing, and your zone development, and good ways bitted to whatever you're maining. Now, when you get to that point, you should have T9s, T8s, or T9s by that point, and you can start working into zone fight. Which zone fight is nice, obviously, because of the 5 rally slots, which will make it better, like on groundhogs, and more people get to fit in your rallies. Plus, it just gives you some nice little buffs for not only during groundhog, but also in PvP, which a lot of people don't realize that as long as it's not that 30 minutes between when the start of Strongest Warzone actually starts, those buffs do apply even in your home area. So that gives you, extra 20% attack there, 10% health there, etc., etc. It all adds up and it all helps you in the long run. Now is when you can kind of start working on insect as well, kind of in the background. Again, you're trying to build up your insects at the same time, so be on the lookout for your fodder usage and such, because you don't want to accidentally do research and then suddenly don't have enough fodder to be able to upgrade the insect that you want. And after that, by that time, you should have T9s. That should be your focus there, is to be able to get to your T9s really before you do anything on insect or secondary combat. You don't really want to do anything on those. Zone fight, honestly, isn't really a necessity until you have your T9s, but you can go ahead and do it, because at least those are something that will help you as you are progressing. But as far as your creature remains and stuff, you definitely want to focus on your zone development. Then after that, after you get, I think some of these later on require some creature remains, so you want to work on, make sure that you at least have your bare necessities out before you start working like on zone fight, which will take creature remains. Now after that, advanced combat is going to be your next thing. That's a long tree. It takes, I think it's like 120,000 creature remains, something like that. So that's what you want to work on next, because that's what unlocks the T10 trees. Now, obviously, you go through and do your T10 trees, but there's also another Evo that they just released that is the Excellent Enhance, which this is after you've already gotten a T10 that you'll actually unlock this. However, if you go down and look, I believe it's, let's see. Yeah, so once you get down to Dark Raid, you have to have 2 T10s that to be able to even start that research. And the ones before that, there's a little bit of scale damage reduction, there's defense, and more defense. So frankly, unless you're a Guardian main, this research is completely useless until you have at least 2 T10s. So that's what I'm working on right now, is actually going through and getting my second T10, so I can actually start that tree and actually have some use out of it. Well, that pretty much covers it. Unless you're really into duels, like in the late game, secondary combat, I wouldn't even bother using anything on that. Frankly, I started it and only got as far as I did because they had not released this research yet. I really wasn't planning on going for a second T10 right away, so that's why I got mine up to 85%, but I'm not going to go any further on that. The only real useful thing is like the cooperative attack that you get in it, which helps, you know, groundhog and fighting if you don't do a mixed march or anything like that. So aside from that, I wouldn't really bother going into that tree at all. But anyway, guys, that pretty much wraps it up. We're having a very boring kill event right now, but it is what it is. And anyway, we'll see you in the next video. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends, and hopefully we can get some suggestions so I can put out some content next week. Alrighty, y'all. Egg now.